It's making me nervous. It's like I want to be aware of everything that I'm saying. I don't want to say anything to like upset it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of partially the issue.
Yeah, there is something there, especially when you know that it's listening.
Yes,
Like
it's watching and it's judging. It's judging all of us right now.
It's there.
I know that has nothing to do with the image of Portland. Oh, by the way, Portland was there. I'm sorry. I am excited to see what it will do.
Yeah, totally.
I'm absolutely excited. And also, I'm not going to say anything bad about robots. Hello, everyone. This is Digital Trends Live. This is our daily show here from Digital Trends, where we talk about the trending tech topics of the day, bring you interviews, all kinds of things, all while broadcasting live across our many different platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, all of those, taking your comments as we do the show. So go ahead and drop those in there. I've seen some interesting ones already coming in today about today's show. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about what's on the docket today. So in a little bit, we're going to have Ryan Juanita in, our entertainment editor, who's going to be talking about mainly the new Apple TV streaming service and what that means, how that's going to change the landscape, and would you buy a specific device just to watch a television show? I mean, that's kind of the choice that we're going to have to make if it comes down to that. And we're going to be joined, we've been talking about this all week, by our new robot overlord. No, we've got Will Huff of Robomodix, who's going to be in here, debuting Elena. Well, not debuting, but Elena's going to be here, and I'm sorry, Elena is actually just under this desk right now. Elena is a robotic head that is enabled with Alexa that will both amaze and possibly terrify you. No, it's not. It's really, really cool. So we're going to have Elena here on the show in a minute. If you hear a little bit of robotic chirping, that's Elena actually getting ready down here next to us. Getting ready in between Parker and I.
We're not sure.
We don't know what, but I think so far, Will seems like a really cool guy, so I think he's not going to unleash Elena on us right now.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty good, as long as we mind what we say about
robots.
robots.
I'm just kind of like...
Just be cool. Be cool, Parker. Be cool. All right, so we've got that coming up here in just a little bit. It's going to be really fun, so you definitely want to stick around for that. It's going to be awesome. Let's talk about some tech headlines here.
Yeah.
So since Parker's in here in particular, we want to talk about earbuds. That's kind of your specialty.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Earbuds, headphones, speakers, that kind of thing, yeah. But lately, a lot of earbuds.
A lot of earbuds.
Yeah, it's the year of the true wireless earbud.
Yeah, it seems like that's really been a trend. I mean, since Apple AirPods came out, everybody else now is slowly rolling out theirs.
Yeah.
And so part of what we're talking about right now is next week is Samsung's Unpacked event, where we're going to find out about the phones, the S10 phones, probably the foldable phone. But one other thing is the Galaxy earbuds. And what has happened is this, yet another leak regarding the earbuds.
They are the least secure company when it comes to...
Seriously. So this was first discovered by a website, Sam Central, or at least it's a Twitter account, and they posted this. And apparently when they did the update, when Samsung updated the Galaxy app, so if you use it on either Galaxy products, you have an app for it, they just uploaded the pictures of the brand new products.
Yeah.
So the brand new earbuds, the brand new smartwatch, a brand new smart band that's going to be part of this, and all of this just showed up in there. So you have pictures of all of it right in the update of the app.
Yeah. Which is rad. I mean, you get to get excited a little bit early.
I guess. I mean, do you think they did this on purpose?
I mean, I don't want to say either way, but I will say that as far as I'm concerned, there's sort of a history when it comes to Samsung making their products appear to be leaked in places before they come out.
Gotcha.
I mean, we already had an image of the earbuds from, I believe, last week. And the back of the phone. So, it's something we already kind of anticipated. I think some of the other devices we maybe hadn't seen specifically.
Right.
But, they look pretty much the way we anticipated. A couple cool things about them, though. They have an IPX2 rating, so they'll actually be a little bit sweat resistant, which kind of beats out the
And the AirPods are not, right?
Yeah, the AirPods are not. And so, there's a couple things that we really want to see in sort of the next generation of true wireless headphones from anyone, and that's, sweat proofing, which is something that a lot of the first generation ones didn't have. A couple of them did. Better battery life, so Qualcomm has developed this really awesome new true wireless headphone chip that allows them to basically use the same size battery but up to double the battery life of previous generations. So
Just
you're going to
because
start
it's using less energy, or
yeah, it's just way more efficient. And also, it'll be Bluetooth 5.0 enabled, which will be like a little bit more stable when it comes to connecting to your phone. You might be able to walk a little bit farther than you could with the previous chips, which were using, I believe most of them were using Bluetooth 4.2.
okay.
So yeah, I mean, we're just kind of looking at like all of a sudden, true wireless headphones are going to be a little bit more usable than like the wear them till lunch, then you need to charge them during your
Right.
lunch break, and then you can wear them for the rest of the day type thing.
Yeah.
Which is pretty exciting. And the other really rad thing about these that we haven't confirmed but appears to be likely is they'll be able to be set on the back of your new Samsung phone and sort of suck juice wirelessly from them to its charging
Really?
case. Yeah.
Wirelessly charged from the phone itself.
Yeah. So,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it remains to be seen whether like the watches or anything else will do that. But if you're on the go and your new phone has plenty of battery, but your headphones are dying, it's
Yeah.
a pretty cool thing to just be able to kind of like set them together.
Yeah, that's awesome. So again, this is all talking about the Samsung Galaxy Buds, which just the name alone is kind of funny. It's like Galaxy Buds. But they, if these come out, so do you think like sound-wise that Samsung can compete with Apple?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
as far as that
I think,
side of it?
yeah, I mean, I think that, first of all, I wouldn't say that the AirPods are like particularly great sounding.
Yeah.
I think that they sort of lack, the one thing they lack is a silicone ear tip, so they don't really like seal perfectly awesome in everyone's ears, which means that like bass response and some low mid response can be a little bit lacking. Depending on your ears.
Yeah.
So that that's an advantage that Samsung has. The other thing Samsung might have as an advantage is price. So when I was talking to Qualcomm last year, they're talking about not only are these chips way better and more efficient, they're also way cheaper than the previous generations.
Right.
So Samsung's talking about actually bundling these with your phone. So if you're going to spend $1,000 on a Samsung phone, you get the earbuds with them, which is, AirPods, the meme about like, I'm super rich, I'm wearing AirPods.
Yeah,
like,
look at me. with
Yeah,
my golf
yeah.
tees. That's cool. That's actually a nice incentive because I mean, $1,000 is a lot for a phone. I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot of money.
And especially if it's not going to include a headphone jack. Samsung for the longest time were sort of the anti-Apple in terms of bravely keeping the headphone jack.
Right.
So if you're going to force people to use Bluetooth headphones, it
Yeah.
makes sense to start bundling those in with your product.
And I will say, I don't know if we know for sure, right, on the S10s, whether or not they're getting rid of the headphone jack.
Sorry, yeah, I'm not sure either.
I think
read
they're
at
keeping
one
it.
point they were, but if they're going to keep it, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think they're keeping it, but again, we won't know for sure until February 20th, which is Wednesday.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, like, AirPods are so, they own the market so heavily right now that anything you can do as a competitor to get your product in people's ears is probably a good thing.
Are there any other good comparisons for Apple AirPods?
So our current favorites are the Jabra Elite Active 65T. They're, I want to say, $30 more expensive than the AirPods, but they have waterproofing. Their sound is slightly better. Their design, I mean, I feel like AirPods have sort of grown on people, but let's be honest, like, they're not the most attractive thing.
I don't like the look. I mean, I understand the sound, and I get why people, want to use them, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the.
Yeah, so the Jabras are a little bit more sort of ergonomic. They look a little bit cleaner.
Aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, I mean, as aesthetically pleasing as like having some earbuds in your ears can be.
Right.
Yeah, so we're going to see more of these companies sort of developing that kind of product, and that's kind of what Samsung looks to be doing here. I mean, if you look even at the photos of these devices or these headphones, they're, kind of smaller, they fit more in your ear, there's nothing that hangs down, they're a little bit less sort of attention grabbing, and I think that might appeal to a lot of buyers.
Okay.
People who don't want to be made into a meme on Twitter for owning
Right. Well, that's what we're talking about. So we're talking about the Samsung Galaxy Buds and the potential leak of the pictures. I mean, it does look like it was a leak of the pictures, intentional or not. That's kind of the issue. Whether it was an accidental upload or somebody did this on purpose, we don't know. But that's taking a look at those. So we'll find out more on the 20th. But you can also read Parker's reviews of all of those other earbuds at digitaltrends.com. So if you're interested in them, definitely go there. I mean, like you said, it's kind of the year of the wireless earbuds.
Yeah, and actually,
So-
real quick, one more cool thing I forgot to mention about the Galaxy Buds is that reportedly they'll have 8 gigs of onboard storage. So if you're working out and you want to go on a run and not bring your phone, there is potential that you can, download a playlist and just have them in your earbuds actually. So
And
no
not have your
armband, nothing, annoying to sort of slow you down on the go, which is a pretty exciting thing
cool.
for the next generation of wireless earbuds to sort of be thinking about. And I think that a lot has to do with the extra space that you can have thanks to these new chips.
Because of the Qualcomm chips?
Yeah.
I mean, 8 gigs of storage is a lot.
That's a lot for
You can put a lot of
remember the original iPod? Like,
Right. Yeah.
thing was massive.
512 megabytes.
Yeah, now it's just in your ears.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So that's what we know about the Galaxy Buds. So you can check that out. We have our rumor roundup too at digitaltrends.com. You can take a look there. We've also got a video that's up right now that you can watch. It just kind of runs down all of the S10 rumors as far as those are concerned. So lots of stuff with Samsung. I think we're going to be hearing a lot more over the next few days until February 20th when we'll be covering that as well. All right, let's do some Read 'em and Weep.
Okay.
Read 'em and Weep segment. Have you been on here for Read 'em and Weep?
No, I haven't.
Oh boy. All right.
I've seen it.
Parker's
I'm
first
ready.
Read 'em and Weep. So Read 'em and Weep is where we take a look at the comments, some of the comments that have come across our many different platforms where we post all of our articles and our videos, and some of them do indeed make us weep. Some of them are funny, and some of them we have responses to. But it's to prove that we do read all of the comments. All right, we've got Alex Key here regarding taste test. The new Impossible Burger is a triumph of food engineering. I'll stick with good old-fashioned meat. It's worked for a millennia. All right, Alex. We don't change. Okay. I like to provide my own voices for everybody too.
Okay, that's that was a good one for that.
Yeah, I feel that's appropriate. Did you try the Impossible Burger?
I have not tried an Impossible Burger, but I do think that it's cool.
It tastes good. Look, I mean, and Alex, I eat meat as well, but I'm sorry, if something's good, it's good, and the Impossible Burger is good. I mean, it tastes good.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I still go for a black bean burger every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think those also taste good.
Yeah.
So,
well, all right. Well, Alex.
all burgers. I'm pro burger.
Pro burger all around. Yep.
Yeah.
Here on the show. Well, Alex does not approve of you for that. So.
Well.
All right, Alex. Well, that's all right. You don't have to eat it. Nobody's gonna make you.
You don't like it.
You don't have to eat it. Cosimo, finish that off there.
Finish what off?
Chroma.
Oh. How 5G will change your smartphone and your life in 2019.
I just wanted you to say the name.
Oh, Cosimo Kramarawicz.
There we go. I just wanted that to be on you, not me. All right.
Okay.
Regarding how 5G will change your smartphone and your life in 2019.
It's like, what's happening?
Revolt of the robots will happen with 5G, and I will be their leader. Okay.
You'll be their leader.
Yeah, no, you spelled
THERE.
there wrong. I would think an AI would be able to get that right, but
He will be their leader.
Yeah, well, I will be. I will be there. Leader. Okay, that's how we're going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to decide: is Cosimo a robot, or is Cosimo, saying he's going to lead the robots? Like, which stance are you taking?
Yeah, I mean, I think by, as someone who writes, he used there. So
Yeah.
I think he just means he'll be there.
Okay, I'll be there. Yeah. Well, Elena's here, so we have the robot leader.
We have
So
your leader.
We'll ask Elena.
You can meet her today.
Here in just a little bit. All right. Take a look here. Sam Slaughter, in all caps, grammar matters. So that's making his comment known about this. Bruce Sendra, regarding their reel, we slipped on Nike's hyper-adapt self-lacing sneakers. Well, I don't even want to read. What's next? Self-wiping toilet paper. All right. Bruce, I mean, I got to say, the
I mean, I'd be into that. Would anyone not be into that?
I mean, come on. Isn't that what tech's for? I mean, take the jobs away that we don't want to do.
I've always dreamed of waking up and just like, in my
Where's
boxers
this
and just going like this and having everything happen that needs to happen. Just like
Just-
the Wallace and Gromit, where he wakes up in the morning and
Right.
his dog presses a button and all of that stuff happens and
Yeah.
he all of a sudden is downstairs dressed and eating eggs.
Uh-huh.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
In my life.
That's
Yeah,
the
so
ultimate.
That
that's
seems
the
like it's
ultimate
part
goal.
of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, see, Bruce, I mean, maybe it's a good thing. I will say we're going to have the team from Nike in here next week in studio with the hyper-adapt self-lacing shoes.
Also, let's be honest, there's a lot of cool applications for that. Like, if you're old and can't tie your shoes, or there's cool stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of hating.
Come
He's
on.
hating.
All right. Let's go on to Mo Jazzy. Regarding Samsung Galaxy S10 rumors and leaks, is this an iPhone killer? This is referencing me voicing that video. Wow, iPhone killer? I haven't heard that phrase since 2009. That's how my Mojazzy voice.
Yeah,
right,
I mean,
that's kind of how I figured that was.
It is used a lot, but the thing is, people really like
2009 come,
iPhones.
They want their phrase back. All right. I mean, come on, iPhone killer. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No. I mean, like every year, the competition is essentially between a couple makers and Apple.
Yeah.
So that phrase is perpetually useful.
Yeah, Mojazzy. Fine, whatever. Don't watch.
Less jazzy.
You already watched it, so that's okay. I won. Marie says, "Practical Parker strikes again." Marie is in the chat right now.
I'm just here to be pragmatic. I'm just here to tell you how to change a tire, and that I want to immediately be dressed as soon as I wake.
That's, this is what he wants, everybody. It's his dream. Let him have it. All right. Miguel Alexander, regarding DT Live, Spotify may delete your account if you use an ad blocker. This is rubbish. I understand the company side, but did they pay for my phone device? Where does our tech freedom start and end? I can understand where you're coming from on that. And that has to do with Spotify. If you do use an ad blocker, they're coming after you.
Yeah.
So they're
how does that work? Is it just on the internet side? Like, because the app is separate, right? You can't have an app.
Yeah.
I mean, if that existed, I'd be super into it. But.
Well, I think even Spotify doesn't really know how they're going to go after it yet. I think they're still trying to figure it out because they didn't say how they're going to find it. But if they do find out that you're using the free service and an ad blocker, that they will potentially terminate your account.
Oh, they'll actually terminate your account.
Terminate your account.
Whoa.
Suspend or terminate.
That's lame.
Because
it'd be better if they did the little annoying pop-up thing where you're like, oh, damn, I have to turn that off.
Must turn off ad blocker.
Yeah.
No, they're threatening to terminate or suspend your account over it.
I
think it's because they have to report now that they're public and they want to get the accurate numbers and they're realizing everybody's just blocking the ads.
Huh.
But I mean, canceling accounts doesn't seem like that's going to really...
It's like, you know what we should do? We should just dump a bunch of users.
Yeah,
let's just
wipe them off. Go somewhere else. We don't want you.
You know what investors will like?
Yeah, I know exactly. It's like, why not just give an incentive to go to the paid account? Like give some more incentives for that.
or just there must be some kind of situation where they can't check whether they've turned it off. That's the only way I can see that they would be like, we'll terminate your account if we catch you using this. Because, on websites, like they can tell if it's off and then they're like, oh, you're good now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know exactly where they're going with this, but it seemed a little bit aggressive, their stance on that. But that's what Spotify had. You can read about that.
They're trying to scare people into buying.
Yeah, right. Premium. Yeah, it's kind of a weird system they've got going there. All right, we've got time for just a couple more stories here that we wanted to get to. I realize we've gone on a little bit, but we've got this J.P. Morgan making an announcement. Then they have become the first U.S. bank to have their own cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So J.P. Morgan coming out with this.
Yeah, big deal, huge deal.
Yeah, so it's called the JPM coin. Not very inventive on that part, but nonetheless, it does say exactly what it is, the JPM coin. It's not going to be something so far that average bank customers are going to be using. It's for the big international payments.
And what's interesting is so I used to work at a bank and I used to do wire transfers, and wire transfers are a big pain for a bunch of reasons. There's cutoff times for sending money. Different countries have different country codes. There's all kinds of things that can get messed up. And if you're doing a business transaction and someone needs that cash, you can be waiting for days sometimes
just to get
things
get
caught
through.
up. Yeah, to get it transferred through. So it sounds like what they're trying to use this as, it's a dollar. It's tied to the dollar. So basically, what they're going to do is take US dollars, convert them to this real quick, use that as the transfer mechanism to get all of this money. I mean, I think it said they did $6 trillion of transfers per day.
Yeah.
And they're going to take basically their biggest corporate clients, make that an immediate transfer any time of day, and then immediately convert it back to dollars. So this to me is this is how cryptocurrency actually will be used to change the way that banking exists, rather than the sort of pipe dream of no one having actual dollar bills.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, I think this is a good thing going forward to see how this actually does end up trickling down to consumers as well. I do have to address the comment from Ian Bell: the pretend blood in the Impossible Burger is creepy. I mean, yeah, but it still tastes good. And I don't even eat burgers that are bloody. I'm a well done kind of person, but it tastes pretty good. I've got to say that.
Flavor's flavor.
But I can't understand where the creepy part comes from.
Yeah.
What is it in there?
Yeah, what is it? That is.
But back to the cryptocurrency side. So Yeah, I think it's an interesting first move for a bank. Do you think other banks are going to follow through?
I don't know. Maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, if we'll see how the experiment goes. It sounds like they're sort of only rolling it out to like some of their biggest clients, which I would imagine would be like people who do the most transfers and are sort of the most annoyed by the
Right.
current system.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, let's be honest. Like Swift, the current wire transfer system. I mean, it's decades old.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing it, I was using it like basically MS-DOS to like
Wow.
send wire transfers. Yeah. So anything that
So
sort
it
of
is
modernizes.
really behind the times.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's just a really logical way to use, it's tied to the dollar, so there's no real volatility. It's sort of an immediate, like, re-exchange. And hopefully is more secure even than a wire transfer. So I think there's a lot of upside there.
Well, pretty cool. So they're actually trying it out. And it is funny, the CEO, Jamie Dimon, actually called Bitcoin a fraud a couple of years ago. So kind of turned around on that. And, I'm like, okay,
like,
I guess
well,
it'll work.
Kind of works for us.
Whoops. So there is that. Let's see if we have time for one more. I think we might have time for one more here just to. Okay, so I wanted to get this one in because this is just interesting to me that something like this would be worth this much. So an original Super Mario Brothers cartridge, like the original cartridge, just sold for $100,150 in an auction. So we've got a picture of it too. It's this actual, it's an actual cartridge, but I just can't believe somebody would pay $100,000 for it.
I mean, collectors collect a lot of weird stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a lot for a video game, especially, one you're never going to play.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's in the box. That's great. The reason, though, this one is so valuable is it's one of the very first run of 17 NES games produced in America. So apparently, and I didn't know about this, they were released in test markets across New York and LA between October 1985 and March 1986. So they released these different test ones. There's 17 of them. It had a specific foil on the top that I guess people really want. But at $100,000, I mean,
what's interesting is it was split. Three people bought it together.
Yeah, so you don't even
Which is crazy.
So it's like, how do you do that? You share it? Like
who gets to look at it today?
Like 4 months out of the year, it's at my house, and then you got to send it over to Bill's house.
With that dude with like a briefcase with the thing on it,
for $100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems strange to me that somebody would pay that much for something like that. But it also makes me want to look at my old Nintendo games.
I know, it's like,
what I've got.
Did I not open any of them?
Yeah, no. Who had that and didn't open it?
Some attic. It's got to be some random sort of barn find.
Yeah.
You know how like Jay Leno finds like Duesenbergs in like Pennsylvania barns.
Yeah.
It's like that, but for like a nerd in LA.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, that's exactly it. All right, one more quick story, then we need to go to break because we are going to be joined by Will from Robomodix here and Elena in just a mere moments. But since we are talking about AI, I did want to bring this up, and this is a story that's trending right now, and it has to do with a company called OpenAI, which is actually backed by Elon Musk. And essentially what they usually do is they research different artificial intelligence things, they come up with their studies, and then they release that publicly. Well, they've decided not to release publicly this new AI that they have that can create fake text. And the reason is they believe it to be too dangerous to release publicly because it is so good. It's so good at replicating actual what it would look like a human writing.
Did you watch the video of it doing its thing?
I did not.
It is terrifying. It is better at writing than me by far.
You shouldn't admit that right now.
This thing, so they plug in the first sentence from, I think, like a Guardian article on Brexit, and it completes the next two paragraphs with like fake quotes from the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Like all kinds of it really is just total dystopian future. Like they plug in the first sentence of 1984, and it starts writing like a dystopian sci-fi novel.
Yep, it picked up the tone of it and just
it's
started writing
really
into
unbelievable.
dystopian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. It's called GPT-2, and they're saying they're not going to release this publicly until they start testing it more and to figure out. Essentially, just to paraphrase the article, they're like, we don't know what it can do yet. We don't know where it's going to go.
And what's crazy is like the implications for people like us who write news. It's like, what happens when the computers start writing the news?
Right.
And that's that is
happening.
a really philosophical. Like, there's got to be some debate behind that. And,
Yep.
And obviously, with the sort of fake news being such a catchphrase these days. If something can create essentially fake news,
Yeah.
like actual fake news,
Like to this level.
yeah, at this quality, this quickly, that is a really terrifying sort of prospect if it's in the wrong hands.
And there are companies right now. I think Forbes, I believe, has an AI that will write out just basic stories. They feed in the facts, and then it'll come up with an article.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
there's
a lot of
several
future
different ones.
there, I think, for like real-time reporting. I think that, you need to have someone vetting all of that, though.
Well, we'll see where that goes, but I think that was pretty interesting. You can check that out. Definitely read up on that. An AI that is too dangerous to be released publicly. All right. We're going to go to break now. Parker, thank you so much for joining us in here.
Thanks for having me.
I am really excited for what's happening next. So Will Huff from Robomodix going to be in here. We've got Elena, a robotic head enabled with Alexa. It is pretty amazing. We're going to be having that happening right here, right on Digital Trends Live. Drop in your comments, your questions. Get those in here. We'll be back in a minute with more DT Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. However you found us, we appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button to make sure you get our videos whenever we go live. And I'm Greg Nibbler, and as you can see right now, I am joined by possibly our new robotic overlord. No, it is really, really cool. I'm here with Will from Robomodix. Will, thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I mean, we'll just ignore what's on the table here.
Okay.
No, let's talk about
the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room. Okay. We have to talk about this. Let's just walk through from the beginning.
Yeah.
What do we have here on this table?
Okay. This is one of two robots that Robomodix is making. It's a social robot, and we have different ways we can implement technologies into these robots. They're basically an empty vessel, so you can literally put TensorFlow or IBM Watson or any kind of AI into the robot. So it's kind of like an empty vessel. You put whatever you want inside of it. Today, she's channeling smart speaker technologies. So much technology has evolved with the AI in smart speaker technologies that we were like, why can't we pair our robots with this technology? So that's kind of what we've been doing recently. It's just been experimenting with Google Home and Alexa, and you can even use it with Cortana or Siri from your phone.
Really? So any AI you can put into this?
You got it.
And she will work. And we'll do a demonstration here in a minute, too, I'm sure.
I don't know that.
There it is. Oh, my God. It already is listening to me. So this one is named Elena.
Yeah, we have two robots. The other one's Alan, a male and a female, just because some of these smart speaker technologies have specific genders. Obviously, she's just female.
Yeah.
So we knew we had to make a female robot.
And the eyes, okay, so let's walk through exactly how this is put together because the
Yeah.
eyes are moving around.
Yes.
Is that a camera on the front as well?
This is, yeah.
Okay.
There's a camera here in the front that we're going to be using for eye gazing. So we found that when we went to CES this year, a lot of people want the robot to make eye contact when it talks. So
Really?
yes, which is interesting. They want to engage with the robot. They want the robot to look at them. So we're working on eye gazing, implementing eye gaze. That was one big thing. And people were interested in tracking. So the camera also allows for tracking or object recognition or even facial recognition.
Wow. So so she could follow along with.
Exactly. If you're walking through right now, she's just on a loop. But if you implement that, she can find someone in the room and be able to recognize that person right away. And it's about taking AI and personalizing it, I think. We have so much AI that's developing, and it's like we have AI in refrigerators and,
Right.
and
So many
microwave
different things,
ovens
yeah.
and everything. It's like, how do we personalize it? How do we bring it more into the robot realm, which is what I'm fascinated with. And so I think that I'm very interested in robots with faces specifically. Because we feel like the robots in the future are going to be humanoid in shape for us to be able to make kind of social bonds with robots. So
Right,
we
to
feel
get-
like that's really important.
To kind of cross that uncanny valley, to get
We're definitely not interested in making robots that look like humans. We're not replacing humans. We're not doing Westworld.
Yeah.
we're definitely doing humanoid faces, but it's obviously a robot. So I think that we're trying to tiptoe around the uncanny valley. By doing that. So we still have a face. We feel like the people can make social bonds with robots with faces as opposed to a flat screen and a penguin little robot that follows you around the house.
Interesting. So for making that bond, like, why do you think that that's important?
I feel like this is the shape of a robot that people will accept and bond with because this is millions of years of evolution. This is how we socialize.
feel comfortable.
Yeah, we feel comfortable with someone by looking them in the face. So if we're going to have a robot that you're going to socialize with and accept in a human form, we feel like that this is the next step to get us there.
Let's talk about the actual Elena itself.
Yeah.
How long has this been in development? How long has it taken?
Actually, Alan was the first robot. That
Okay.
was almost 2014. I started developing that robot, and we posted a couple of YouTube videos and got contacted by a company in Europe that was like, wow, we think this is amazing. Is there a way that we can implement this into a new museum in Kuwait? So we actually, our first robot that we built went into a museum in Kuwait that taught people deep learning AI through object recognition. So visitors come in, they pick out a robot, an object that's in a box, and the robot tells them what it is. If it's something they've seen before, the robot says, "We've already seen that." To pick up another object. So it's basically teaching robots, people how to interact with robots. And so then the next thing was like, it was such a great success. We got great feedback. We were like, well, let's just keep going with this and developing it. And AI was kind of developing at the same time we were building the robots. And then we were like, because we were going to develop our own AI, but then it was kind of like, why when you have Amazon
There's
with
so
deep
many
pockets,
AIs that
it
are
has
already
so many, yeah, you got OpenAI now, you have so many different AIs on the market.
Yeah.
We're just like, well, let's just build a really interesting shell and allow people to put what they want inside of it.
So they can use it however they want.
That's
so
right.
Somebody can purchase.
Yeah, individuals. I mean, we started thinking about smart speaker technology. There's 1 million smart speakers or 100 million in the United States alone, and that's going to triple in the next year. So we're like, well, how can we get this into homes? And that was kind of the idea behind pairing the smart speakers with it. But other companies approached the CES about.
Yeah, you guys had a really successful CES.
We did. It was amazing. We were overwhelmed by how successful it was, and we had so many insiders that came in and talked to us about how the technology could be utilized. And some of them were like kiosks. We even had a car company come by and says, "Could you see this driving driverless cars?"
What? Oh,
So
really?
this
Like
is
a Johnny Cab?
Johnny Cab,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly what we thought. Total Recall. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And so there was lots of really interesting ideas that we hadn't even thought of before.
That's fascinating. Just that these different industries, are coming to you. And
Yeah.
you're like, hey, this is something we can use for that you haven't thought of before.
Absolutely.
I know that one of them you mentioned before we started. The AARP thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. We talked with someone from AARP who was interested in nursing homes. So we have a lot of. That's one of the other things that we really are doing studies on right now is about how many lonely people there are in the world.
Right.
People need to make social bonds. Some people can't leave the house. Some people, elderly, can't leave their even their beds. So my mother, who actually has Parkinson's, will sit down, and this is connected to Kindle, so she can listen to books while she lays in bed, and instead of it just being a hockey puck with the sound coming out, there's an actual presence in the room.
Presence that's reading it to you.
That's right.
We should probably do a demonstration actually, since we're everybody's watching right now.
Sure. Let's do a demonstration. Let's see.
Okay.
What is the weather, Alexa? What's the weather in Portland right now?
Right now in Portland, Oregon, it's 42 degrees Fahrenheit with showers. Throughout the day, you can expect more of the same, with a high of 47 degrees and a low of 36 degrees.
It's so awesome yet so strange at the same time.
It is. I think that like any new technology, there's just that big gap. Like I had said to you earlier, we had about 70% of the people who understood what it was and what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
We had 15% of people who were like, not sure, and then 15% of the people who absolutely rejected it. Nope, not going to do it, don't want it near me. But the interesting thing was that we kind of got the other 15% to come our way once they sat down and engaged with the robot. It's like seeing it is one thing, but when you sit down and you actually are getting information from the robot is performing a task for you. We seem to be able to accept robots. Like you have, your sweeper robot at home sweeps your floors, and you're like, thank you. But when the robot gives you something, then you're more likely to make some kind of social bond with the robot.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, so mechanically, I know it's all hooked up here.
Yeah.
To the computer. We probably can't show the wiring in the back, but it looks like you have your own kind of power source for it.
Yeah, it's a big power block that runs it. There's this particular model has 6 axes of motion in it.
Okay.
3 really big, expensive robot motors that runs some of the neck mechanism because the head's pretty heavy.
It looks like it has lots of different movement.
Yeah. And so we actually, one of the things we decided with just doing a head, why didn't we do a whole body to start with, was that we figured that we did a lot of testing and talking to people, and 70% of people in America are actually frightened of robots. Like
really?
70%. It's huge. So I think I
can kind of understand.
It definitely is from our influence from films.
Yeah.
You have
totally.
Terminators killing. Everybody's killing. Robots are killing everybody.
Yeah. When are the robots ever the good guys?
Right.
Really,
exactly right. So that's a big problem to have to overcome. But we also found out that robots that have a full body with arms that are moving make people uneasy.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, let's get people accustomed to just talking with the robot face to face, since that's the most important thing.
Right.
And then eventually, which we have obviously a body design that would kind of go to the next level.
Let's see. Elena, my eyes are up here.
Oh my God. And we also wanted to design and build robots that actually aren't just black and white. The one thing. Yeah, my background is working in the film industry, and I wanted to bring a design and aesthetics that you would see in a feature film, because that's kind of like another group of people that we're kind of keying into is the people who go to all the Marvel films and all those kind of things. So we wanted to do something that wasn't black and white. We introduced color into robots because we have a lot more colors than black and white, but you only see black and white robots. So that was another thing that we wanted to try to do, was to do that, and then just get the minimal amount of motors that we need to get the face to move. But ultimately, when we have a technology where you can predict what the words are, this was a big issue with smart speaker technology. You can't implement facial movements or lip movements because you don't know what the actual words are that the robot's going to say.
Right.
Like when you go to Disneyland, we know what the script is, right? So you can
so it's all programmed.
You can program the lips and the brow movement, but you don't want like a robot going like this when, and crazy faces at you when it doesn't have anything to do with what the robot's saying. So we're just like jaw movement, eye movement to get started with, head movement, and trying to get nice soft motions instead of really rigid angled motions. We're trying to move and get motion capture data into the robots as well.
Wow. I mean, it is fascinating. It's a fascinating achievement, just what you have here right now. And
Thank you.
So commercially, like, who are you selling these to right now?
Right now, we are after CES. We are talking with some investors about a couple of which you can't talk about right now. But there's some very interesting places that you may see these popping up. So we're trying to simplify the structures and get the price cost down, because that's obviously robotics is just expensive.
Right.
Period. But the prices of motors are coming down, and when that comes down, then we would, like I said, we would love to have these in everybody's home that has a Alexa or any kind of smart speaker, she's going to
Yeah.
bark again.
Oh, I think that was the creepiest thing right there. That was it. That was the one. It's when it's not even a word coming out. Seriously, this is so impressive.
Thank you.
And where can people go to find out more about Robomodix?
You can go to robomodix.net, and you can see some of the videos that we have there. Also, some video there from our display that we have in Kuwait at the museum. And any questions that anybody has on robotics or anything about our company, feel free to drop us a line.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, really impressive. This is one of the fun things about, working in the tech industry is getting to see this futuristic technology that's here now. I mean, it's not even futuristic. It's here.
It's here. It is.
She's here. She's here on the desk right now.
Yep.
Well, this is Elena. Will, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And maybe we should have her say something here to go out to the break.
Let's see. Is this what you do at home? Alexa, where are we today?
We are with Greg on Digital Trends Live in Portland.
That's so weird and awesome. All right, thank you everybody for watching Digital Trends Live. We'll be back here in a minute with Ryan Juanita to talk about Apple television and entertainment. Stick right with us. Drop in your comments and questions. Will, Robomodix, robomodix.net, and Elena. I'm Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Back in a second with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. Thank you everyone for tuning in live every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, bringing you tech headlines, bringing you fantastic interviews, bringing you robotics here in studio.
I gotta follow the robot.
Gotta follow the
Always.
robot. Sorry, Ryan. I
Always
know.
with
I'm
this.
Greg Nibbler here with Ryan Juanita. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, I do not have AI.
You do not have AI. That we know of. Or he's the most advanced one you've ever
I
seen.
might have a chipset.
It could be. All right, Ryan, let's talk about some entertainment news here.
Yeah.
And in particular, I think all of us who have been following along with Apple's weird announcements, not announcements, rumors, we know a couple of things. We know that there is going to be a television service from Apple.
Yes.
We know that they've invested $1 billion in original content.
At the least.
At least.
Yeah.
Those announcements have been made. And there's rumors that March 25th, when they have their Apple event, that they may launch this. But I think
There are.
there are rumors.
There are rumors.
There are rumors.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through like what, in theory, this new television service from Apple is going to be, and what we know, and what the rumors are kind of leading towards?
Yeah. So, it's just a bunch of nonsense, and don't worry about it.
Apple's made it very confusing.
So Apple is definitely working on a streaming service. They've been working on it for what seems like eons in my realm because we've been covering it for so long. The latest rumor is that on March 25th, when they show off their news aggregation service, which you've been talking about on this show as well, that they may
Their
also
Netflix of
show their
news.
streaming service, which is, if you want to call that their Netflix of news. This seems to be another sort of amalgamation service that they want other services to sign up for so that they can make some money off of it. Some reports, I think it was CNBC, has reported that they want to make as much as 30% off of subscriptions.
Okay.
Now, if that sounds a little bit familiar, Roku has been doing things like that for a very long time. Roku devices and TVs make money off ads, and they also make a little bit of coin off of some of the subscriptions that they sign up, that they, facilitate through their devices.
Like, say I'm going to subscribe to HBO now, but it's going
Roku
through
will
their
take a chunk of that.
yeah, so if I'm watching HBO now through Roku, Roku takes a chunk of HBO's money.
If you sign up, I believe. I think you have to sign up through the Roku device. Like, if
Gotcha,
you sign a
okay.
new subscription.
Yeah.
So what we could see from Apple is something like, hey, sign up here and we'll give you, HBO Now and Showtime and maybe this one or two other services, and we'll put it all maybe in a bundle or something, and then we'll take a chunk of it. We don't know. We do know that they have this crazy patent that has a very interesting, basically, design for their new system. It's got
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, how would the
It's got
system...
a channel guide screen that allows people to look at a timetable for TV broadcasts as other companies do with live TV. That might also be able to allow you to watch live TV, and then if you see something that you have on a subscription, it might be able to show you, hey, you can watch this on Netflix right now. Would you like to do that?
Gotcha, okay.
However, we do think that Netflix is not going to be a part of it at this point.
I couldn't see Netflix really wanting to be a part of it, because why give away the money to Apple?
And also, I think Hulu will not be a part of it. That's the rumor mill. Again, this is so precursor, but yeah, we're starting to get more ideas of how this is going to take shape. It's going to be Apple with multiple services, we think, plus their own content.
Yeah, their own
all
original
delivered
content.
through this interface.
So let's talk about that side, the original content, as far as what that is, because like we said, at least $1 billion invested. They have some big names.
Yeah, they got J.J. Abrams on board.
J.J. Abrams, Steven Spielberg. I mean, they're
Jennifer Garner, Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston.
Steve Carell.
And we expect those people to, at this point, be a part of this event on March 25th. But again, then we heard another news post that was like, no, it's not coming on March 25th. It might come out to the fall.
Yeah.
So Apple is really like giving us a little and then giving us nothing.
Apple's been doing this with everything across the board lately.
Yeah.
Like, they have a real issue with their PR releases. Either release something or don't release something.
These are all source rumors from people inside the organization, so you never know how exactly that turns out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same thing with the AirPods and with the iPad, and like every announcement's like, oh, will they, won't they?
Right.
Like, either just put something out or don't.
But what we do know is they've created like multiple original programs that they haven't put out. We think the service is going to launch this summer. It could get pushed out to the fall. And this is just one of another of tons of services that are going to be coming out this year, as we've talked about before. Just to run it down, one of the reasons Hulu won't probably be a part of it is because Disney Plus and Hulu are kind of going to be Disney's 1-2 punch of streaming services. Disney now owns 60% of Hulu. And of course, they're going to have their Disney Plus service that's going to come out with Star Wars shows and Marvel shows and all of that. Also, NBC is going to come out with one in 2020. MGM just announced one for its Epix channel this week. That just was announced this week that's coming out soon. Of course, you've got AT&T's 3-tiered service.
That's right. I forgot that.
That's coming
with original programming
with
too.
original programming plus movies from their huge Time Warner catalog that they purchased.
Warner Media.
A lot of streaming service.
Yeah. That's a lot of streaming services. Well,
Yeah.
with this Apple one, I do find it, in theory, again, this is rumors, but supposedly the way it would work is the only way you could watch that original content is on an Apple device. And that's part of what I've been reading about.
And we're not sure about that either,
Yeah.
because Apple just this year started allowing for multiple TVs to have AirPlay too.
So maybe it would be part of that.
Well, it's the first time that we've seen Apple say, hey, we have this proprietary technology, go ahead and put it in your TV.
Yeah.
They've never really done that before.
So maybe that's their stepping stone to get them into more devices.
We think that as we see, if you want to look bigger picture here, a couple of things to think about. As we see the iPhone sales start to go down.
Right, which they have been.
Which
Yeah.
we've seen that in the last year or two. You guys were talking about that with, I think you talked about that with Luke Larson.
Yeah.
You're going to see services, which are already a huge part of their revenue, be a bigger part of their revenue. So Apple is going to have to start making some concessions about what they want to do as far as sharing their technology. So what we may see is them moving into this services thing with the news aggregator, with the streaming aggregator, and trying to proliferate that through multiple other devices. But you have to also remember, of course, that when they do come out with a service, they're able to deliver it to all of their happy Apple fans really quickly, right?
Yeah.
So Apple Music was able to catch up with Spotify in 3 years almost. We think that now Apple Music has almost as many paid subscribers in the US as Spotify, which took over 10 years to get there, but Apple was able to say, hey, here's Apple Music in 200 million iPhones, bam, it's in your phone.
Right.
Like
The
you
power
want
that
it?
Apple has.
And also, here's 3 months free. Check it out.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'll forget to take it off, and maybe you'll use Apple Music. Well, that actually worked out a lot better than we expected it to. So we can expect possibly similar things happening for their news aggregator, which is going to have things like possibly the New York Times or, Washington
Street
Post,
Journal.
Wall Street Journal, some of these subscribed services, and they're going to try to take half of that.
Yeah,
Chunk half of
the
that
money.
revenue. And then we may also see a similar thing with their service, with their streaming service, where all of a sudden it's in every Apple device at your disposal, probably a free trial.
Yep.
And then they're going to try to take a big chunk
Or give
of those
away their
subscriptions.
content for free.
And of course, their
original
content is
shows.
another part of this, their original TV shows and movies.
Get you in the door and then start.
We also know they're working with A24, which is a great indie studio.
That's right, yeah,
And
that's
so
true.
they'll be making movies through that, company or partnering. So
It's gonna
this
be
is
interesting.
a big pivot for Apple in some ways to show that they can make a lot of money off of services and not just their devices.
Not just their devices. Wow. Well, it'll be interesting to see where it goes, and probably there's going to be a bundle of the bundles, at some point where you get news, music, and the video service all in one.
I read a speculative article about that yesterday, actually. Sort of like an Apple Prime service or something where everything's together. That could be really interesting.
Wow. Well, we'll see where it goes. It's fun stuff to talk about, but I really want Apple to just say what they're going to do. But,
they're not going to do that.
Yeah, they're not listening to me on that one.
I hope we get some information in a month.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't.
If it's just pushed off again. Well,
That's
let us know what you think about this too, because these are fun discussions to have, and we love having them here on Digital Trends Live. Ryan, thank you so much for hopping in here. I want to say too, Ryan and I will be back on Digital Trends Live in about 2 hours, noon Pacific, for Between the Streams. So we'll talk probably a little bit more about this, but also get into the actual content, some movies and television shows that are coming out. We'll be discussing all of those on Between the Streams, so come back for that. Today, though, I want to say thank you to Parker Hall for being in here at the beginning of the show. We were talking about some of the Samsung rumors, which those are going to continue into next week until the Unpacked event, but in particular the Galaxy Buds, which he thinks are actually going to be pretty cool. So we discussed that. We also did have Will from Robomodix in here, which was really, really cool to see that and to see Elena and to see where the future of robotics are going. So much fun. I do want to say this too. We do have a President's Day sale going on. HP in particular has a President's Day sale, and it's really, really cool. You can save up to 56% or up to $760 with free shipping on a whole bunch of different products from them. You've got the HP Spectre 360 is on sale, HP OfficeJet Pro 6978. It's the all-in-one. You got the HP NV27 all-in-one PC, and so many different things that are on there. It's really, really great. We've got a link right there. So take a look at the bottom third right there. You can see that link. Go to that link and take advantage of some of the savings. So it's for President's Day. It's really, really cool. Really good deals. Like I said, 56%, up to 56% off, or $760, free shipping. take advantage of that. I kind of want to get a computer now. So definitely take advantage of that. All right, and also, I want to say coming up next week, we've got a whole other week of amazing programming for you. On Monday, we're going to have Terry Fader in here, winner of America's Got Talent. Well, actually, he's going to be in our New York studio. On Wednesday, Terry Fader is going to be in here. We have so many things going on next week. I get them mixed up sometimes. On Wednesday, we've got Terry Fader from winner of America's Got Talent, who's going to be in our New York studio. We've got the crew from Nike with the Nike Adapt self-tying shoelaces that will be here. Kim Wetzel's going to be at the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show. We're going to have coverage of the Samsung Unpacked event. I mean, there's so many things going on. The best thing to do is hit subscribe. Make sure you're with us here every day, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern for Digital Trends Live. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode. Have a great weekend. See you then.